Welcome to Datta Biology classes. Our discussion will be on photosynthesis today. As you know, there are two words, P-H-O-T-O, photo, and another word is synthesis. These two words jointly forms photosynthesis. Now let us start with the subject first. Where from this photo came? Photo is coming from the word photon. Photon word come from sunlight. So the sunlight comes in the form of photon, and photon, the unit is photon. This with the help of this photon, synthesis takes place. What synthesis? This is organic. So with the help of light, that is photon, something has been synthesized. What is synthesized? Carbohydrate or organic food. This is the main funda of this photosynthesis. Now, why it occurs? Let us start. So, let us elaborate. When the photo falls on a green leaf containing chlorophyll, so chlorophyll are there, so it contains chlorophyll. I am writing plast, chloroplast. When the light hits chloroplast or chlorophyll containing cells of the plant, green plant, then synthesis goes on to form this. So this is, we can say, these are light energy. This is light energy is converted to chemical energy. Chemical energy. This can be said again. This is not the primary requirement. Only light and chloroplast is not enough to build a C6H12O6. So the plant takes something. What it takes? It takes from the soil H2O. H2O comes through some vessels called xylem. So XYLEM, xylem. H2O from the soil comes through a tube called xylem. It reaches here, and with the help of H2O. So another component we have got H2O. This is also not sufficient. Again, another thing is required, that is CO2. It also comes here. So with the help of this H2O, with the help of this CO2, with the help of this sunlight of photon, with the help of this chloroplast, it is synthesized. So there are so many components, that is water, CO2, photon, chloroplast, which is synthesized. Now, in the green plants, if you see here, the water is coming from here. Okay. Where from CO2 enters the reaction. So there are, you know all this, there are stomata. These are called stomata. From the stomata, this CO2 enters, and the byproduct and the byproduct goes out from the same stomata. These are all guard cells of the stomata. O2 goes out. O2 goes out. Now we can complete the definition of the photosynthesis, that it is a process through which the green parts of a plant containing chloroplast, because green parts of a plant containing chloroplast or chlorophyll, whatever you say, it should be there, special component. Or what you can do, you can take a dry or dead plant and you paint it with Asian paints, blue paints, whether photosynthesis will take place, no. So the live chloroplast should be there, that is the component. With the help of this chloroplast and water taken from the soil and CO2 taken from the atmosphere, the process synthesis takes place and it produces an organic food, that is C6H12O6. In this way, the light energy is trapped by the chlorophyll molecule or plant and is converted to chemical energy. This is the simple thing of photosynthesis in definition. The definition you can write yourself. Don't say so many things, but mention these things. H2O, CO2, photo, chloroplast, and C6H12O6. CO2 goes in, O2 goes out. So our definition chapter is over. As simple as that, what we are saying, that photosynthesis is a very simple chapter, but the more and more we enter into the chapter, we will see that what goes in. Now, this is, how much CO2 are there in the atmosphere, in the total atmosphere by volume. Collect it in this way. CO2 is 0.03% out of the total 100. CO2 is 0.03%. It amounts to 2,200 billion tons. Billion tons. 2,200 billion tons of CO2 are present in the atmosphere, and this is sufficient to do the photosynthesis for a few hundred years. For a few hundred years, this is sufficient. That is 0.03, it is less than 1%. Still it accounts for 2,200 billion tons, and it can produce photosynthesis for a few hundred years, even if there is no replenishment of CO2, further addition of the CO2. So this is so simple. Again, the plant takes up 7 into 10 to the power 11 tons of CO2 and produces 5 into 10 to the power 11 tons of plant material. So, plant takes up 7 into 10 to the power 11 tons of CO2, and these tons of plant materials are produced, that is yearly. This is the massive chemical event takes place within the earth. No other chemical event in the earth so far described has been with this huge factory. So this is use. Now we will come one by one. CO2 we have done. Now the next thing, it is from the sun, the sunlight is coming. So we should know something about the sun also. When the sun ray falls, this is sun ray. When the sun ray falls, if you put a prism here, the ray will be divided into V, I, V, G, Y, O, R. Visual, violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, red. What scientists have discovered or scientists have seen that photosynthesis takes place here and here. On both sides of this visible spectrum, this is known as visible spectrum as we can visualize. So this is a visible spectrum. Other than this, if you go beyond this, there is ultraviolet rays. Here the ultraviolet rays which is not visible. Then it is gamma rays. Then X-rays. The first X-ray, then gamma rays. So these are the rays the sun falls back, but we visualize this one. Here from red there is infrared, and thereafter it is radio waves. These are the rays. So this radio wave, this 98.3 FM, 98.34, 100.3, these are the radio waves. The waves passes from here. So in this visible spectrum, what we see, 400 to say 500 nanometer, the photosynthesis rate takes place initially, and here the photosynthesis takes place. But in yellow and green, especially in the yellow or in green, the photosynthesis do not take place, or it takes place a little. How it has been, you can observe it. You see, if you take a test tube, and grind some chloroplast and put some acetone on it, acetone, acetone, and here grinded chloroplast. Grinded chloroplast is there. If you put here, then you filter it. You will find some liquid here. You will find liquid here. So if you see the liquid, here is the sun. Say for example, here is the sun. Sunlight coming. It is coming like this. It is coming like this here. And if you see from this place, you will see this appears green. This appears green. It means that the sunlight, the chloroplast inside it, reflects the green light. So the chloroplast appears green. On the other hand, if you see from this place, that is the light behind you, you see this place becomes red. This solution appears red. Here it is red, here it is, what I say? Green. It is green. This phenomenon is known as fluorescence. 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 This phenomenon is known as fluorescence. Again, absorption spectrum and action spectrum. A simple sentence I will say. Here 400 to 700 nanometer. 400 to 700 nanometer. This is 400. This is 700 nanometer. The rate of photosynthesis is high here. Again it slows down. Again it rises here. That is, the rate of photosynthesis takes place between 400 to 500, and here from 610 to 700 nanometer, the photosynthesis takes place. That is, in the both side of the visible spectrum, photosynthesis takes place. But it does not mean here it is not taking place, but the rate is quite slow. Now, absorption spectrum. Here it absorbs like this. Here it absorbs like this. This is the absorption spectrum of chlorophyll A and B both are inclusive. See. So, it is absorbing, it is doing photosynthesis. Emerson have seen that in the low, that is 400 to 500, the photosynthesis goes on, but its rate is lower. Again, between 600, 700 or something more than that, the rate of photosynthesis is low. It is also low. Emerson has seen, the scientist. But the rate of photosynthesis can be increased by stimulating the sample of this chloroplast with the second beam of light of less than 450 nanometer. If a smaller wavelength light is pushed in flashing order, the rate of photosynthesis increases. That is known as immersion enhancement effect. Immersion enhancement effect. Immersion enhancement effect. Typically, this is immersion effect. And the primary thing what I told you, that even though absorption is more, but photosynthesis rate is low. Absorption is low, the rate is low. This is a drop. So it is known as red drop. Red drop. Okay? Now we will go into the next step. Repeat. This I am erasing. These are the introductory chapters. We have not come into the photosynthesis main part till now. Now I will take the introduction also. For a long time, it was seen that CO2 plus H2O produces the organic matter CH2O plus O2. Previously it was believed. How? Because this, you are something puzzled with this. Let me say, to multiply by 6 CO2 plus 6 to the 12 H2O, 6 H2O is equal to C6 H12 plus 6 plus 6O2. For a long time it was recognized that the plant, these two things were discovered. That is, glucose was discovered first. As a result, this glucose is stored in the plant. It was recognized by tested by the scientists that some glucose is produced. So it was thought it is the reverse of respiration. Respiration we have seen, this glucose is oxidized and it releases energy. So it was respiration. It is reverse of respiration. That just reversed. 6 CO2 plus 6 H2O is equal to this. So it was stored in the form of C6 H10O5. This is known as starch. That is minus H2O. One H2O is removed from here and it is stored in the form of starch. Previously it was believed because the identifiable products were some starch or glucose. It was believed. Now the situation has changed. How? So what scientists have done, 6 CO2 plus 6 H2O scientists have used oxygen isotope O18. This O18, say this is O18. Oxygen, it is isotope of oxygen. Different varieties of oxygens are there. Isotope you will read in chemistry. So scientists have used O18 oxygen, and what they found that this oxygen is this. So the oxygen evolved during photosynthesis comes entirely from water. So how many oxygen are there in water? In water, we have seen, this is the number, 6O. And here, how many oxygen is liberating? 6 to the 12O. That is 12 oxygen I must require to balance the equation. So what we will do? We will simply write 12, 6O, you write 12, 12O. That is 6 CO2 plus 12 H2O is equal to C6H12O6 plus 6 O2. It is going. Again, you will see 12 H2. That is how many H2 is required here for CO2 reduction? CO2 is here. This is C. This is O2. This hydrogen is coming from. This hydrogen is coming from here itself. So H12. How many H12 are there? 12 to the 24. H is there. How many we are using? 12. So another 12 is left. So we can write in this way 6H2O. 6H2O to satisfy the equation or to satisfy the requirements of the scientists, because they have said by using or labeling O18 isotope, they have seen the oxygen during photosynthesis comes entirely from water. Okay? Again, a student, his name was, in 1931, a student, his name was Van Neel. Van Neel. His name was Van Neel, N-E-I-L, Neel. In 1931, what he did, he has seen that some bacteria, 6CO2, some bacteria, 12H2S. Simply write is, some bacteria can produce C6H12O6. So, photosynthesis is not the entire, taken the monopoly of producing C6H12O6, but there are some bacteria, blue-green or photosynthetic bacteria. In short term, it is known as photosynthetic. Some photosynthetic bacteria can reduce CO2, can reduce CO2. This hydrogen is coming here, and instead of 12O6 O2, what will be there? 6S2. But it is not, in the sulfur is not available in this bond. So we write 12S plus 6H2O. So what we have seen, that it is the main thing, that is how hydrogen is reducing the CO2. Here in plant kingdom, water is the source of hydrogen for reduction of CO2, and in bacteria, hydrogen sulfide is the hydrogen donor to reduce the CO2. So this much we have come, but later on we will go into the deep of the subject. Then light phase, dark phase, and so many phases are there will come in the next episode. Till then, thank you very much.